It's almost midnight, Watchers. Are you ready to join the Midnight Watchers to talk about their favorite strange and scary movies?
Welcome. This is Koji.
This is Quentin.
And this is Jennifer.
And she was drinking.
Agua.
Water, not drinking, but
Yeah, water too. Cheers.
Yeah, I have water too. I just finished an hour and a half podcast with somebody else's podcast, so I'm exhausted, but this is good. It's a good podcasting day. But how are you guys?
I'm good. I have very exciting news today. So I attached one of my favorite actresses to my new feature, but I can't talk about it yet. So
congratulations.
You can't talk about it yet? Maybe after. Well.
Yeah, after. Not on record.
Not on.
We're not recording. Are we recording this right now?
We're recording. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't talk about it.
Jennifer, how are you?
I also have good news today, like Quentin. So we must be in synchronicity. I don't think I can announce it officially either because the deal memo is coming. The offer, is coming today. But I'll tell you off after. But I have some good news too.
Wow, everyone! I don't have any good news for anybody. So I feel left out of this situation. But let's get into it. So this is episode number 7, and we're reviewing. I actually have the DVD, One Cut of the Dead. I got this from one of my students actually from when I was teaching, because he knew that I wanted to watch this, and I hadn't been able to see it at the time because it wasn't anywhere. And he got me the DVD, which was super, super nice. So thank you out there for getting it for me. So I'll read it to you guys and tell you guys what it's about, and we can go from there. One Cut of the Dead opens in a rundown, abandoned warehouse where a film crew are making a zombie movie. Yet this is no ordinary warehouse. It's been said that it's the site of military experiments on humans. From nowhere, real zombies arrive and terrorize the crew. This may sound like a plot of a cliched zombie movie, but One Cut of the Dead is something completely different. Starting off with a non-stop, one-take, 37-minute shot, the film then completely switches directions and turns the zombie genre completely upside down into charming, audience-friendly comedy with an ending you won't see coming. And it was edited, written, directed by Shinichiro Ueda. So there you go. That's
okay. Why is the ending unexpected?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm saying like I didn't recall there was a really special ending to the movie other than they finished the film, right?
Well,
you find out that one of the guys is really drunk and they were just trying to.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Didn't he fall off? I forget. Well, what did you guys? What did you
think? Not really. They finished the last shot, right?
That's right. Yeah.
They finished the last shot where they stacked up and filmed that shot there where she was. I think it's an interesting film. Maybe I start first since. Because I was expecting it to be a really sort of like low budget horror comedy, like a horror zombie movie, from what I've heard. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that it's not really a horror film per se. It's more like a comedy about a director trying to make a movie. Yeah, so far that's what I thought.
Jennifer, sorry, what did you think?
I also thought it was, when you say unexpected ending, I think we mean like the last half of the movie was unexpected. I actually didn't know, thankfully, much about it. So I didn't know that, you think it's a movie about a movie being made, right? But it's beyond that. I think there's 3 levels. It's a movie about a movie about a movie, right? It's a movie about a movie that's making a movie. Anyway, it's just really original. My initial reaction, guys, was it's super original. You can tell that it was made for a minimal budget, but it was still really enjoyable. And it was really more of a comedy. Like some of the lighting and the way those scenes were in the studio, at the TV station, and at the house where the director and the makeup artist lived, the couple, it looked sort of like a sitcom to me, the lighting and the way it was shot. But I was able to move past that because of the writing, the storytelling, the screenplay. It was just really, really original.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, I was told that this is the greatest zombie movie ever made, which is definitely not the greatest zombie movie ever made. I enjoyed the movie, but it's definitely not the greatest zombie movie. But one of the things that it is interesting because it's had this really kind of prestigious film festival run. I don't know if you could see that, but it's like a ton of festivals. They've been in a ton
Those
of
are not
festivals.
prestigious film festivals.
I know they're not prestigious.
Film
No,
festivals:
no.
Cannes, Berlin, Toronto, Sundance.
I'm not saying prestigious.
Venice.
I'm saying that they've been in a lot of film festivals. That's where they got a lot of the run for, because it's a $27,000 feature. So it's
27,000.
Yeah, they made it for $27,000.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, but the funny thing I always say about this movie that I think is interesting is that I think it's more interesting for people that have never been on a film set to be able to see like what's going beyond the cameras. If you've been on a film set, to me, it's not nearly as interesting because you're like, yeah, I assumed off camera there's a makeup person and there's all these other people like right off camera. But so a lot of the people I know who really, really loved it were the people that have never ever been near kind of a movie set before or near a film.
I don't think that's such a cheap movie though, because you have the cast. To me, you can't even pay cast if for $27,000 something, unless nobody's paid, but all those casts looks like they're professional actors.
Yeah, I don't know. This is what they've always been known as for $27,000. So I'm not sure I wouldn't work on it. So I don't know the veracity of their claim, but it definitely is low budget. So that's one of the things.
Would we say this is the lowest budget movie we've reviewed, guys, so far?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's probably lower because I think what else was I think like Crazy was 100,000. To be honest, I think that movie One Cut of Dead is probably around 200 something, because I don't know if it's possible to make it that cheap, especially in Tokyo, because in Tokyo it's like you have to pay for
Actually,
everything.
it's all non-professional actors.
Oh, they're not professional.
Non-professional actors, yeah. So they're and it's all one cut too, right? So it's all one day.
No, but there's a lot of stuff like when they're shooting in the control room, they're shooting it out in Tokyo, they're doing the rehearsal and stuff like that. So, I mean, for me, I guess I don't find the comedy to be. First of all, it's like a Japanese movie, so Japanese comedy for some reason just doesn't. I just don't get Japanese comedy in general. So that the comedy, I mean, I like the idea of it more than I actually like the film, I'd say, because I think that the horror is not really that scary, because I was I was waiting for it to end. It's, oh my God, it's like the movie ended 37 minutes. Oh, that's like another 60 minutes ago. So basically the way they structure is like 30, 37, it's the film within the film. Then 30 minutes is half an hour. It's like the second act is really about putting the film together with a little bit of comedy of different kind of like mismatch of like, actors. And then the last 30 minutes is really about the about making of the film, right? And you see all these different things behind it. So I think it's interesting, but I think that it comes out interesting. It comes out more an interesting exercise, like an experimental film, than it's being a horror film. So, or even a zombie film kind of thing, because it doesn't say anything new about the zombie genre, right?
No, yeah, I don't think that they were really necessarily going for that, though. Jennifer, do you have any thoughts on that?
Did you say your student said it was the greatest zombie
No.
movie?
I read a lot of zombie blogs, and I read a lot about zombies, and people always talk to me about zombie stuff. So I was hearing from other places that this was like that. And part of that is also because I think for a while it was really hard to see. Like, unless you were at one of these like festivals, and they were just, they had sold, but they hadn't gone anywhere yet. So I think that to me was the reason. I think it was just a lot of hype going on about it. I think it's more just the idea that it's kind of at least an original. I mean, a zombie. They're not saying anything new about zombies, but they're at least something interesting about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was the greatest zombie movie ever made. And yeah, the zombies weren't even really spectacular or scary or gross. But it was just, I didn't expect, I thought it was just going to be like, I thought the whole movie was going to be one take and just about a zombie movie gone wrong, right? Because they're in a haunted place and there's actually zombies there, real ones, right? And they get them confused while they're filming, and then they get attacked and the shoot is over, but there's footage of it, right? But then exactly 37 minutes in, you realize actually it was live on the TV station and they show all the behind the scenes. Yeah, it was like a fun ride. I saw that it had screened at Sitges, which is in Spain, and Fantasia, which were not like the top 3 festivals, but those are like the greatest horror film festivals. So it just kind of caught on, probably because it's a different sort of found footage movie, right? And it's technically can be considered in the horror genre because there's zombies in it, I guess.
I mean, I'm sure they made money because they made for 27,000. They got picked up by RJLE, which was Blockbuster before, because I think that was a brand that the distribution label for Blockbuster, RJLE, and then I think it picked up for Shudder as an exclusive, and Shudder is owned by AMC. So I wonder how much they paid for. I wonder how much Shudder paid for the exclusive. Probably I'd say 100,000.
Yeah, which is great for a movie of this size, right? I mean, that's a lot. That's pretty good for it. So do you guys think it was? I mean, it sounds like Quentin, you didn't think it was scary, or Jennifer, did you think it was scary at any points? You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
I would say I was not sure what to expect in the beginning. You know, I was curious what was going on in this haunted, what was it, a water treatment facility, but this haunted old warehouse basically. So I was sort of like, when is the zombies gonna come? So I guess I was a little bit, anxious, exciting, but yeah, when the zombie bites came and attacked, there was nothing. It was more amusing. Yeah, I never screamed.
It's kind of interesting that I think a lot of the Japanese horror mythologies, it's about like a site that is haunted. I'm not sure if you've seen Versus, which is actually one of the early Japanese horror film. Early Japanese zombie movies in the 90s, and it's basically about this forest. Somehow, whoever you killed there will come back to life as a zombie. And actually, that was a very stylish movie, and that was, I think, probably one of the first Japanese zombie movies, called Versus. And I think that movie was more fun, really, really stylish. And obviously, you have the suicide forest in Japan. That is people believe that site to be. So there's something interesting about how they play on the site of a thing being haunted, which is kind of like a cliche, which is kind of like Stephen King thing, it's always an Indian burial ground, right?
Yeah, I've never really been afraid, or I've never been scared of Japanese movies. But I do want to say Japanese horror movies. But I do want to say one thing that I liked about this movie, as opposed to the other movies we've done, is that this is the least like traumatic movie I've seen so far. All the other ones have really traumatized me, like like the Serbian one that totally traumatized me, and actually, well, not some of the early ones did, but the last couple ones we've been watching have been kind of really a lot, and it was nice to be able to watch this kind of passively, because I watched it again for this, but I kind of enjoyed that nobody's being raped, and no body parts are being cut up, and like it was kind of nice in that respect. So like I think to me it's like the ginger of like my palate, so it allowed me to like be able to watch new stuff. But Jennifer, what was your favorite part of the movie? And make sure to unmute yourself.
That's a good point. I don't know. I kind of liked good question. I kind of liked her, when the lead actress kills the director in the final part of the movie, of the actual, movie that they're shooting in the movie. She's like really bloody, and she has those red shoelaces. Do you notice that her shoelaces were so blood soaked they were red? I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. Like, oh, I hadn't seen that in a movie. Blood soaked shoelaces, right? And then just talking about, yeah, how she was all splayed with blood, and you have the makeup artist, special effects makeup artist, like splashing blood on her. I don't know. That was kind of just endearing and fun to look at, I guess. I don't know. I don't have much to say. What else? My favorite part of the movie.
Well,
it was nice to. Okay. It was nice to watch a movie in Japanese. So that was nice. Yeah, to like watch a movie that was made there, because we hadn't done that yet. I think none of the movies we did were from Asia yet, right? We've done other countries, but not Japan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was our first Asian
The
movie.
Grudge is a great Japanese horror film. Have you seen it? The original Grudge. I thought that was pretty scary.
I did.
Because the Grudge was, they have actually, so I saw the Grudge 1, Grudge 2. They have the TV, it started as a TV movie, about 30-minute, kind of like a TV movie. Then they made the original Grudge, the movie theatrical version, which is, I thought was pretty good. I saw Grudge 2, which is the Japanese theatrical version. And finally, I went to see the Grudge, the remake of the Grudge. I totally fell asleep because I've seen too many Grudges. They're all the same. But what was really cool about the Grudge? It's the way it tells the story. That it's like, you know, it's told in like 5 bits, and somehow you at the 5th story you put everything together of how these people, this house is kind of haunts these different people in different timelines. So I thought the Grudge was interesting, but pretty much the whole Japanese lately, the golden time of Japanese horror films is maybe late 80s, mid 90s. It's no longer, because yeah, the Grudge was kind of at the tail end, and then you have the Ring, right? The Ring was huge series. Yeah. Ring 1 to 0. But also Tamiya is a really good series to watch. If you don't know about the character, it's based on a comic strip about this girl that could be reborn, and then she would make all these guys, you know, all these high school guys to kill her and cut her up into pieces and take her home. Then she would regrow back and come to haunt these guys. So it's based on a Japanese, because a lot of these Japanese horror movies are actually based on original comic book, like Uzumaki, which is the Spiral. Have you seen the Spiral?
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, so basically that's the movie was kind of okay, but the series was supposed to be really good.
Also, I like that your birds have joined us. What are their names?
That's Toffee. That's my buddy.
That's your buddy. And you have 2 birds behind you. What's their names?
That's Holden, and that's the grandson Agamemnon. That's my oldest son. My son had a wife that has a girl with the wife, then had a boy with the daughter.
So it's incestual.
Incestuous birds, yeah. But now the grandson likes the grandmother, but I think the grandmother's too old to do anything. So she's like 14, and he's like 5 or something.
This sounds like a horror movie. This sounds like horror. How long do the birds normally live? What's their normal lifespan?
Probably between 20 to 30 years.
Wow, that's a really long time.
The minimum is like if you don't treat them really badly, they live around 20 years, and then but the oldest cockatoo is 33 years old, I think.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, Quentin, what was your favorite part of this movie? Do you have a favorite part?
I think the favorite part was I didn't like the guy being drunk. I thought that was really ridiculous because he was an alcoholic, and that's why I didn't like that. But I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite part.
My favorite part was that, you know, my wife doesn't, even though I love zombie movies, I love everything zombie. My wife hates everything zombie. So so this was one of the few movies that a zombie movie that we could actually sit through and watch. So that was nice for me that I was able to enjoy a zombie movie with my wife, which is very rare. So, but as a zombie movie, this is not one of my favorite zombie movies, but I enjoyed the premise of this, you know, like I love the one cut thing, and I love the kind of seeing behind the scenes and kind of all the stories behind it. I thought it was fun. And I thought it was, you know, as a filmmaker, I thought it was really interesting to see it done for whatever amount it was, but, you know, seeing it done for pretty cheap was fun to be able to, and it looked good. I mean, it looked good for what it was, I thought. And so I really, really enjoyed it. But it sounds like we're toward the end of this talk. So let's do our 1, 2, 3. Let's see where we are with if you guys recommend this movie or if you guys don't recommend this movie. So I'll count to 3. You guys let me know with your thumbs whether you guys like it or not, and I'll let everyone know who's not watching. I'll let them know what you guys vote. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so
I'm not sure I like this kind of like voting system because it sort of simplified the whole idea of a critique of a movie.
For sure.
Just to say that because it sounds like really dumb. It's like a Roger and Ebert kind of situation.
Yeah, but okay. So
and for I think for us to even review these movies, we're kind of beyond the system because, you know, there's so many probably more entertaining movies you can be watching or you know, contemporary. But why do people need to watch these movies, right?
Okay.
look at these movies. But
Well,
anyway,
should I say how everyone voted? Do you want me to say that, or should we not say that?
you didn't say that.
Well, me and Jennifer said yes, thumbs up, and then Quentin wasn't super excited about this one. But thank you guys so much for coming on this show, episode number 7. And please, for everybody, please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcasts. Please also join us on our Midnight Watchers Facebook and Instagram pages. Let us know what you guys want us to review next or to watch next. And then stay tuned to it, because we usually say on Mondays, we say what we're going to be watching. And so you can watch it before you hear our episode, which comes out on Fridays. All right. Well, so thank you guys for so much. And thank you everyone for listening again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.